I started off today not even taking video because I was working on a really simple project. I was going to put a nut in a piece of plywood and I was going to stick this to it. But something interesting happened, and so I turned the camera on. The bandsaw started cutting sort of at uneven speeds, and I attribute this to one of the belts that has a little bit of a curl permanently in it from where it sat for a couple of years before I bought it. And I've got a piece of the linkable belt that I think is long enough to replace it, so I think today is just going to be a little fix-it day. We'll start with that, and then I'll try to figure out why the drill press is making such a racket when you put the quill up. Down here where the motor is, there's a pulley and a belt, and those are fine. And up here, supposedly so you can quick change your speeds, although I've never done that and it seems super difficult, there's a second belt right up here. And that belt is kind of tight and it's kind of stiff, and this pulley, or this shaft, is directly connected to the drive wheel that the bandsaw blade rides on. So I'm pretty sure that this belt right here is the problem, and I've just got to loosen everything, compress it all so I can get that belt out. We'll see how that goes. And there's a set screw. And here is the problem belt. He wants to be that shape. Oh. Here we've got plenty. I'm gonna go and I didn't like how the lower belt looked either. That is not at all tight enough. That's what we're matching it to. Here's the pattern. So there's the part. That was a lot less scary to cut out this time. It's not perfect, but I'll clean it up with the sander, and this is a whole lot better than it was. Alright, so now we're onto this thing. It's about the second video I did ever. And there was this terrible racket. So when you bring it down under power and then you let it go back up, something in here lets this pulley move up. I'm not sure what. There's a little piece in here. I looked up typical parts diagrams, but that shouldn't move like that. So I'm going to try to get it off. .23. I don't have a 23 out here. So I'll just walk the belt off. And we'll see. Those are fine, but for some reason they're oily. And there's a set screw right here. Bet that set screw goes on the spacer. Spacer? Why would it go on the spacer? How do you get to the set screw? Okay, so I gotta get the nut off. I gotta get this little stub shaft that has the splines on the inside. I've got to get that in here and get the set screw on. And then I can put the pulley back and the nut. I think it's a left-hand thread. Yep. So I looked at a similar model from Grizzly, and it just says that there's a taper. So when I ran the impact driver the wrong way, I must have locked that taper in. I'm going to have to grab this lip where the V-belt would ride, but it does look like cast iron, not aluminum. I'm gonna give that a tap. Okay. Got a little bit of sawdust in there, but I think it'll do okay. It's too long. There's no nut. The camera battery died as I was getting ready to test it out and I didn't notice. So the nut's back on, the pulley's nice and secure, and whenever the quill goes up and down, this doesn't hit the case anymore.